Okay, so tonight I have a not simple card. It's not awful, but it's not simple. And I also wanted to share with you, oh, where is it? Oh, it's still on the floor. The new improved templates. Oh, you're gonna love them, I think. These are what our new improved. No, it's not like the truck. Whisper, and I'm going to say whispers, but I'm going to start calling them simple sketches because it gets really tiring to tell you what a whisper is. But let me tell you quick what it is. Years ago, way back, I used to teach Cricut classes, and I wrote these little booklets that were called, they were my notes on what to do. It's like I took the notes in class and then I wrote out this little thing, and we printed them, and they were in a little ring, and they came in the mail. That was way before we had this whole setup. And they were called whispers, like I was whispering in your ear, telling you what to do with your machine. So I translated it into the same thing for Stampin' Up! Projects with, I really haven't done a lot of information on them, but I'm adding more. I'm going back to the whisper sentiment so that you could actually get the information from this if you never saw the video. Lana says she still has them. I'm reading up there. Nobody on Facebook says they have them. But so these are going to be, I'm not going to do them for every Facebook. They'll definitely be in every class that I teach. And I will offer them. Right now I do tutorials that I get from a bunch of other ladies that I work with, a design team that I work with. And I give you that when you place a $50 order. These will be available for smaller orders. I will have a little bundle each month that I give. So if you place a couple of orders, you'll get some of my tutorials. They may be things that we did in Facebook Lives, or they may be things that we haven't done at all yet. So you can check them out. They'll be in tonight's, there's one there now so that you can go look at it in the free classroom. So you can see what it looks like and see if you like that idea. I'll probably get a couple more in this month, but then starting in January, it's my new 2020 plan. I'm hoping to have more. I'm going to have a good library built by then because I'm writing fast and furiously right now. Okay, so anywho, what are we working on tonight? We are working on this card. Look, ooh, isn't that cool? Two deadlines that you need to know about. One is, and I don't know them right now. I'm sorry, I just went completely blank. I'll tell you about them later. Don't worry. Let's go back to the card. Ooh. The details, I didn't write them down, and I should have. I have forgotten everything today that I had intended to do. Just crazy. I went out the door without my wallet. Another time I went out the door without my phone. It's like, what? Where's your brain? Apparently again, that to-do list is longer than it needs to be. Okay, so we are working with, hey Cheryl, hey Jeanette. We are working with this handy dandy little bundle, the Holly Jolly Christmas. It's the stamp set and the dies. I love this one. This one's great. Let's see. Let me show you what I didn't put in it, but I think I might add them. Look at Santa and the reindeer. Let me get it so there's nothing behind it so you can actually see it. Look at the detail on him. Like, we definitely need a Rudolph nose, right? With one of those red rhinestones. Oh, I love that. And then we have these two words. These are the dies that are in there. And it's 'tis the season to be jolly, right? Love that. So let's just take a peek at what the dies are. I showed you the two big ones. Then there is a stocking. But look, the stamp set that they coordinate with gives you 3 different stockings. So you can cut out whichever ones you want, or as many as you want. Hey, Melinda. Then there's here's the words, and these are great, and they really worked really, really well. They punched right out, no worries. Santa, he's this guy. I'm going to hold this still for a minute, and you can see why I got really upset this afternoon. Do you see something wrong with my beautifully, my hand-colored Santa? He's all done. I'm really liking him. I'm really excited. I'm ready to just, I put the dimensionals on the back. I'm all set to put it on, and I drop it in the Cherry Cobbler ink pad right across here. We're living with it. I added some shading. It's going to be fine. I wasn't going to color him again. But anyway, so this is the Santa. You've got the stamp and the die cut that coordinates. You have Believe. And remember, I told you Believe is everywhere in my house. I must have 8 to 10 different Believe things because I really like one. It helps me reflect on the meaning of the season. But I also love Miracle on 34th Street. So then this is the inside of our card. It's a Fancy W card from one of my fellow demonstrators that had the technique, and I loved it. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And we're going to put this together. Enough of show and tell. We've got the reindeer, we've got a gift, and we have a little tag in our dies. I'm going to put these guys in here so we don't lose any. And then we have the stamp sets are really cute too. So you have Santa. You have May the Magic of Christmas Reach You This Year. And may your heart be filled with the love of the season. Love, Santa. Believe. The gift and the stockings. Right? So cool. Okay. So the trickiest part of this is all the kind of cutting and prepping that you need to do to get ready to build your fancy fold card. So what I've added to my sketches these days is kind of a one-sheet wonder to help you cut better. So you're going to take your wrapped in plaid 6x6, and this is what you're going to cut. I also wrote it in the list if you like to look at it better that way. I know we all tend to look at things differently. And if you like the video, well, then maybe that's an easier way for you to do it. So let's just move you over there. We are going to, and this, it is in the classroom for you. If you want to go look for it, you can grab it now. All right, so the 6x6, I need 2 of 2 by 2.5. And I need a 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to pick, let's pick this one. This is the wrapped in plaid. And so in order to make sure I get everything out of this, I'm going to cut this at 4 inches right here. And then the leftover is going to give me the other 2 pieces. So you only need 1, 4 by 5 1/4. Hey, Randy, Lorinda, Cheryl, oh, lots of you are on Facebook. Hey, hey, hey. Okay, and now the other one, this piece is just extra, I don't need it. It's gonna go in my little snips pile. This, I need 2 of 2 by 2.5. Well, it's already 2, because I cut the 4 off, right? Started at 6. So now I need a 2.5 and a 2.5. All right. I like to cut everything first, and then I can put it all together. So there's my 2 by 2.5. And honestly, sometimes it's easier to just grab yourself a little pencil and just kind of check off as you do it. And that way you won't ruin the little sketch, but you know that you did it. So we just did this whole strip right here. We did that one. So now we can move over to our Whisper White. and we are going to need 4 1/4. I'm sorry, 4 by 5 1/4. So I'm going to do the 5 1/4 first. Save that piece, and then 2 4s. There's 1, and there's 2. Okay, and then bringing it back. So that's that part. Now I need 2 by 2 1/2. Okay, so I have this piece left. I'm going to go at 2 1/2. And then 2 and 2. This is extra. So there's that. And here's my 2 whisper whites. And you. Take my little paper back. Okay, so I did this whole thing. So I did this one and this one. Now I just need to do my shaded spruce. And if you look down here, you'll see that there's actually 2 pages because I need a lot of shaded spruce. So this one is 4 1/4 by 11. This actually gives you enough to make a second card, so you could set that aside rather than cut into it. So that's this one. Then I'm going to go over here and use the other piece because this isn't quite enough to get the whole thing. And I could use this to make the whole card. So I'm going to start with another one, and I need 1 3/4. And my trimmer really needs a new blade, and I just haven't broken down to put it in there. And then I need 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And I have 2 of those. So I'm going to go, whoops, this way. 2 3/4. Two and a quarter. 2 1/4. 2 more. 2 1/4. And 2 1/4. And then I just have to do my scoring. And we're good. All right. So there's that. And there are my pieces. So now I need to score. I come back here, and I put the scoring in 2 different places. It's down here and here, and it's also right here under the title. So it depends on where you want to make sure that you don't miss it. This one's easy. This one's going to score at 5 1/2. Right down the middle. Remember when you're going to score to move your cutting blade out of the way. Here's that one. And then this one's a little trickier. This one, it needs to score at 2 3/4. And 5 1/2. And then I need my little extra piece out here. And we're going to go to 8 1/4. All righty. And then we are all done with the trimmer. Okay? So not bad. A little more layers than we're used to. Okay, so that is actually how it's going to fold. It's going to go like this, right? That's how the card's going to go together, but we've got some prep work to do. So first things first, this is the big piece. And I'm going to take the 2 pieces of Whisper White, and they're going to go inside here. Okay. There's that one. And then the other is our plaid, which is right here. And this goes on your front cover, the front of your card. And that's going to go just like that. So our card is starting to be assembled, but we don't have this inside piece done. Okay, so we're going to put this aside. And then we're going to start with this piece. So this is how it's going to go. All right. And if you're not sure and you forget when you take it out, put the card back together. So it folds out the other way, not the way the card goes, because that wouldn't work. So it folds the opposite way of the card. All right. It makes an M or a W. It goes like this. To help you remember, before you go on to too much more, you're going to grab your tear tape, because that's how you're going to attach it to the inside of your card. You're going to flip this over, and your tear tape's going to go right on the end. And that'll help you remember which is the back. Because once you start adding things and flipping around, it's easy to forget. Double check. We're good. Okay? So I'm going to put you aside, put you over here out of my way. Now, these little pieces with the 2 whites and the 2 plaid are going to go on top of these 4 shaded spruce. These 2 can go right now. And they're going to go on. I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to put tear tape at one end. That's kind of a mass production. And I put 2 because I want to make sure it's going to stick like so. Okay? You could use snail, but this is a card that's going to get moved around a lot, and you want to make sure everything stays in place. Whoops. Doesn't go on the white. It goes on the shaded spruce. If you go to put it on the white, it's the exact same size, so you'll know it's wrong. And then 2 pieces of tear tape at the bottom, which at the moment, it doesn't matter if it's top or bottom. At this point, we haven't committed to anything. All right, so those guys go there. These are going to go on here. These are going to get stamped though. So I'm going to stamp them first because I could always flip them over if I mess it up. So if you look in here, I used May the Magic of Christmas Reach You This Year. And then I put, and may your heart be filled with love of the season, love Santa. So I did it on both. And I used my shaded spruce. I'm so proud of myself. I cleaned my blocks today. They were really looking pretty wretched. I don't know about you. I use hand sanitizer and then rinse it all off. I love how simple it looks. All right, so I want the May the Magic of Christmas Reach You This Year. I want Love Santa, and may your heart, whatever the rest of that was. May your heart be filled with the love of the season. Okay, so this one goes on here. Oh, there's one more stamp too that I didn't use. The Christmas trees, so cute. Alrighty, and you make sure that your ink pad's nicely inked. Lovely. And then this one. And may your heart be filled with the love of the season. And then love Santa. Okay, we've got more stamping to do, but I'm going to kind of put these aside. We're going to get the inside done first, and then we'll bring the others back. These guys are going to go right here on the shaded spruce. Now, I like to get everything done before I put this little W into the card. So we've got a couple more steps to do to finish the inside of the card. This time it does matter where the bottom is, so you kind of have to flip it over and make sure you're right. You're going to put these along the bottom, not the top or the middle. I'll show you why. All right, so on mine, I used the stocking and the gift. You don't necessarily have to stamp them, but you can. I'm going to do the magic of television, and I'm just going to take the ones off this card. But I want to show you, you stamp the stockings, and you just pick one at a time to cut out. Same with the gift. And I stamped Santa too. I did these in green, and then I said, oh, that's not going to work to color. So stamp this page in your memento, and then you can color and not have to worry. So you've got this extra leftover piece of Whisper White when you cut everything else out. So let's move these guys. And we're going to stamp our stockings. And we're also going to stamp Santa. And we need our gift. Okay, and our memento. Stocking, or I'm sorry, gift. And you want to be sure, because Santa's a pretty big one, you want to make sure that you're getting all the lines really clear. So I like to turn it over and do it that way and make sure I'm getting everything I need. Oh, love him. And then my stockings. He's such a nice traditional Santa. And they're going to go right here. Okay. And now I'm going to line these up and run them through. Grab my dies. So I need Santa, my gift, and my stocking. All right, line these up. Oh, it's really glary. I'm sorry. You can't see it that well. Let's go with a tree this time. And our stocking. This one is kind of moving around a little. So these are the little Post-it note things I like. Post-it flags. And you'll see it when it goes through. And then Santa. Get on there, Santa. Okay. I apparently can't talk. I can't breathe. No, it's gonna move. I gotta get that stocking to stay where I want it. It's being temperamental. And then he moves Santa too. I am using the magnetic plate. Okay, here we go. You would have colored them first? You could. It depends on your method. There's no right or wrong. Santa didn't stay. The other guys stayed great. I should have done this with the other ones too. They never work out perfectly during Facebooks, ever, no matter what I do. I think it's because I'm really not looking at it as well as I should be, but we'll be okay. You guys won't yell. There is our stocking. And there's our gift, magically colored in already for us. One more thing I want, and that is I need a starburst for the front. And then this is what I had left over from my Whisper White. So not bad. I think I'm ready to assemble. Now, yes, I would definitely color these guys now before I put them on. I have all my blends here. This is what I used. I'm not going to take the time to color them because we'll be here all night. I used Cherry Cobbler, light and dark, Shaded Spruce, light and dark. I used a little Flirty Flamingo for his nose and his mouth. I used Ivory, and I used the Bronze, which is the darker version of the Ivory, to color in the teddy bear. And I didn't really color in all the gifts either, but you could. Okay, so he's just going to be white for right now. Let's figure out how to assemble this thing. So we've got our W, which looks like this. Remember, we put our tear tape so we could figure out how it's going to go. So it's going to go like that. I need these two, and they need a dimensional or two on the back, and then pop them on. And I need to make sure that I have it right side up, and I do. And our gift. And I have it right side up. Clearly the trees could have gone there. You could have done lots of different things on it, but I picked these. Now let's take our tear tape off. And then you have to think about how it's gonna go together, because I wanted this to end up at the end. Like I wanted it like that. So you can pick and choose. And I thought, well, you get your stocking and there's a gift in the stocking. And then you're gonna line this up with the bottom, and it sits right in the center of your fold. All right, same thing with all four of these. And then we put it inside the card. I've been using a lot of tear tape lately, so now my floor has not only whisper or has dimensional spaces, it has tear tape stuff too. Yeah. I keep thinking I have trash under the counter, but I need to bring it so it's at the edge of the counter. And one more. Come on, little buggy. Okay. Now, one more thing. Flip this over. Look how cool it looks. Flip it over, and you're going to take these off. And we're ready to put this on the inside of our card. So it goes like this, right? The tear tape's right here. Bring your card. Make sure you have the front. And you're going to line up. You're going to line up this piece right here. When it's open, it looks like this. I'm going to line this up with the right on the corner of the Whisper White. Okay? Right there. And stick it down. And then you're going to fold it up. Okay? Make sure it's all nice and straight. And then close this down. And then you're going to open it and cross your fingers. Looky there, it fit perfect. Right? So there's our card. These cool things could easily go right here. Depends on how much you want your card to be, how busy you want it to be. But it could go just like that. And then when you stand it up, you'll see these cool things, right? This whole set is so cool. Those of you that are coming to the retreat, this is what our sampler uses, is this set, because it's just the coolest thing. Then Santa is going to get colors. He's not going to be black and white, and he's going to go here. And this is going to have Believe, and I used my cherry cobbler to add a little bit of color to the front. We talked about this last night in our card class, but if you happen to really like, I tend to use these a lot, where you get the background behind it. You want the 2-inch circle for that. Actually, I'm going the reverse of that, so no, you don't. You want, the easiest way to do a backing, let me show you the differences, and then you can see why I would tell you to do something different. This is our 2 1/4. Let's just punch a bunch so that you can see them all, and you can see the differences. 2 1/4, 2, whoopsie, and a starburst with dimensional stuck on it. And then a starburst. So let me just show you guys, let me show you how this all goes together. I hate that word, guys. So if you just put these two together, you just want to circle inside a starburst. This is the 2-inch, and the starburst works perfect. If I wanted something behind the starburst, I could kind of do that. Look how this looks with the 2 1/4. So if you want it on top, you want the 2-inch. If you want it behind it, you want the 2 1/4. So you want both of them. All 3 of these punches give you such variety. Now, you could also make another starburst and just offset it. And that's kind of cool too, right? I want this though. And pop it in. Adding a ribbon to this would be great. But we're not going to get too carried away. We're going to add our dimensionals right now. I can't remember, the Santa's going to be ready to color. He's not going to be colored in yet. I will color him in later. So Believe is going to go right here, and then Santa's going to go right there. Okay? So Santa really looks like this when you don't drop him in the cherry cobbler. See, he's got this big, I was going to put a ribbon across him. I was so annoyed. I just finished. And then I dropped him. Great. And I wasn't even rushing. I had Christmas music on. I was drinking hot cocoa, having a great time. You know. Okay, so what could you do with the inside if you put those in? These are tricky to get down because they're so tiny. I like using my silicone mat so I don't get glue all over. You can use the liquid adhesive. I think this is honestly just as easy to put a little bit of snail on him and then open it up. You could put some mini dimensionals too, like so. Get his feet in there. But when the card is standing up, which is how it's going to be viewed, he's fine. All right. So there's Santa. And we're going to do the same thing with 'Tis the Season. You just have to be really careful that you don't rip this when you're putting it. The fine tip glue works great. You can use that. But because we have this great Whisper White background, we can just pop that right on there and it shows really well. Now this is a super fussy card. I don't think you're going to want to make 25 of these, but you know, if you did, you could mass produce it. Do the same thing. Do all your cutting at once. Right? Super cute. These little things are where I removed items. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful weekend. I hope those of you that are coming to the retreat, I'm really excited. I can't wait to share with you. Tomorrow night, we're having a pajama party, and then Saturday, we'll be making our projects. If you have thought about it and said, oh, I wish I could just come. I don't care if I have the I don't care about the goodie bag. I just want to come. There is that option in the classroom. You can still do that. You'll get all the class materials, like the PDFs, and you'll join us. You just don't get a goodie bag. And that is in the classroom. Susan, I think we started 8, but I could be wrong. I need to look. Oh, Deborah, that sounds like so much fun. All right. Well, thanks for coming, you guys, and hanging out with me and making a card. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you back here on Monday, and we'll do it all over again. Bye.